Namaskar, everyone. So, welcome to Monday Darshan. Looking forward to an amazing week. And here at the ashram, we will be getting ready for the Mahashivaratri, the great observance, which will be on Saturday. Of course, it will be streamed live, as always. As we begin this new working week, let's give a little attention to what I spoke about yesterday, and that was the experience of the inner dimensions of consciousness. And that is a phenomenal experience of the inner dimensions of consciousness. It's exciting when we really can understand and appreciate the inner dimensions of consciousness. And those of you who have written comments to me, I really do appreciate those. It shows your fascination too of what I spoke about yesterday. And I'm looking forward to that sadhana that's going to come up in the 40 days. So when your consciousness is awakened, or more awakened today in a space, and you begin to view that space as real, well, more real than this one, because that too isn't absolutely real, because it's still a dream existence, a Mayic existence, the other worlds. None of the worlds are really real, so to speak. We may call them immortal because they can stay for as long as we want them to stay. But ultimately, they all have to disappear into absolute void, nothingness. Because only in nothingness there is no change. But don't view nothingness as how we view darkness, because nothingness is not darkness. It is just the absence of light and manifesting. It's undifferentiated consciousness. It is unmanifest consciousness. It is consciousness asleep. So there is no light. But what I love to do, and what I'm going to do in the 40 days as well, is take you into a deeper experience of these inner space or spaces if you are ready and receptive. So that's going to be the primary thing. Readiness and receptivity, and then how do you prepare yourself for being more ready and more receptive? That is extremely important. In fact, the build-up to this week is all about that as well. It's making ourselves ready and receptive for that explosive energy that we can experience at the Mahashivaratri. And it's in keeping with the astrological timing, because that night is a particular night in a particular lunar month, and it's especially designated for the observance of the Shiva sadhana. But that I'll speak more about, and maybe hopefully I do another video at some point before the night itself. Yeah, so let's speak a little about the experience of these inner spaces, and they all relate to chakras. Every dimension of consciousness is related to one of the chakras that we know of the 7. The base chakra, it's this earth consciousness, is called Bhuloka. The one just above, which I call the ancestral loka, it's Bhuva. And then the beginning of the celestial chakras is at the navel chakra. The bhuva is the sacral chakra. It's all has to do with the family and relationships and progeny and coming back to earth. It's close to the earth. So all of those souls are earthbound by family ties or reproductive ties to the soul. We're caught in reproductive energy and in family. And the navel chakra, the Manipura, the sacral chakra is called Swadhisthana, which means home abode. Swadhisthana. And so it's where, and it's influenced by the planet Jupiter. It's a place where this kind of family love is there, family relationships are there, and of course it's a sacred space as well. So don't see any of these spaces as not being sacred. And Manipura is fiery. It's the planet of Mars governs the Manipura, influences the Manipura. And Manipura is related to the Agni, the fire power. And it's related to a world of dynamism and activity, action. And so it's the beginning of the mastery of energy, of core energy. And you see it in all the martial arts and the hatha yogis who mastered the energy of Manipura that relates to the body and driving the body. So it's also called the chakra of the second brain, the gut. So it's a marvelous world to be in. Of course, I love Manipura energy because it brings dynamism and vitality and action, the zeal and enthusiasm for action. So I thrive a lot in the Manipura energy. So this is a world by itself. And then you have the emotional center, the heart center, the center of love. So this is another world by itself. It's governed by the Venus chakra. Oh, it's influenced by the Venus planet. And it's called Anahata chakra, because here is where the sound begins to formulate, to emerge to the mouth. It takes form here. So it's said to be the sound that is not made by the two objects, Anahata. So it's a beautiful world. When we begin to feel the pulses of this world of love, it's amazing what the connections we make with beings from that world, and we also make connections with the beings of the Manipura world when we are there. It's the world of the vitality masters, and then we have the ancestral world, and the throat is the world of sound. It's the Vishuddha chakra. It is the place where we can really purify the old patterns that lie in the psyche. It is related to Akash, the medium that has all the information. Akash. And it's a marvelous world of, it's governed by Mercury, influenced by Mercury. It's a world of where you have the great orators, where you have the wisdom thinkers, where you have those who intuit information from the Akash. So it's a marvelous world. So when we begin to access this world, we get a lot of downloads from the inner space intuitively. And then when you come to the brow center, Agya, you have the center of mental operation, of focus, of mind power, of intellectual power. It features here. So these give you the worlds that the ego operates on. And when you come to the crown, which is a very difficult access, you experience the supreme consciousness, and you experience more and more of your divine nature, and you begin to operate more with unity consciousness. And that's up from here. So in this world, you have your very pure egos. You have the high beings who extend a lot of light to our world, and they live in this chakra, this Siddha Loka or Satya Loka. So you have Bhuloka at the root, you have Bhualoka at the ancestral brain, you have Swarloka, you have Maharloka at the heart, you have Janaloka at the throat, you have the Tapoloka at the brow, and you have the Satyaloka at the crown of the head. So these are marvelous worlds that you can experience as you go deeper and deeper into sadhana. And like I said, the most marvelous experience you can have is when you have a guru who can guide you on the outside through a form, and who can guide you on the inside and pull you by inviting you into these inner spaces and guide you there. And this is the most marvelous experience that you can have in the human experience, being guided on the outside, being pushed on the outside by inspiration to the inside of your being, and then being pulled on the inside of your being by the inner guru, who is also manifesting in the outer and pulled on the inside. So this is a marvelous experience of the guide, inner and outer. So as I speak to you, I'm actually living the experience as I speak to you. So it's a way of also transmitting the experience. So you find that my words come alive because I'm living the experience. I'm in the experience. And that's what I try to do in every meeting with you, every exposure to you. I try to bring that experience to you. So let's take a moment to really get into that space, because that's the beauty of today, being with me. So let's center in that space. First, detach from the worldly thinking. Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter what is your experience of the senses. Just detach from it. That you can give more attention to the silent space within the mind. That you can give attention to the space behind thought. Not to deny thought. Just take the power away, power of attachment to the thought. So that you can be free of the thought. So you're observing the thought, but you're not caught up in it. You can push it away, or you can leave it there. It doesn't really matter. My mind has no thought, really, except the flow of the ideas to you. And one of the beautiful things of having no thought is that the prana holds me. The prana of the mind holds me in this beautiful state of mental being. And the prana of the breath, which is very steady in my being, just holds me into that space of beautiful energies. My breath is hardly moving. It doesn't want to really move because it's steady. It's not restless with the senses. But what you can do is that you can regulate the breath so it calms down. It's not restless. You get a gentle moving breath. And you focus on just calming the mind and the senses. Don't get caught up in the restlessness of the senses. Just stay in the calmness of the mind. And enjoy. That helps me to enjoy the movement of prana in the breathing. Breath is governed by prana or pana, and it also draws prana into Ida Pingala nadis. When you're not restless in the senses, when you're not restless in the mind, the prana flows smoothly at your beck and call. And when your pranas are not restless, mental prana, the sensory prana, the breath prana, you find there is so much peace in your being. And now just go to the chakra that calls you. Go to the love center, the emotional center, and see if love opens up in your heart. Feeling so much love towards your world, compassion, kindness, that you can breathe into it and you can breathe out of it. My heart is just full of this beautiful love, this being love. I don't need to love anything, I just need to be love. It's such a beautiful experience of just being love. And my pranas are just held in that loving, emotional prana. And I know that this state is also stimulating neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, because I can feel the ripples in my body of these beautiful feelings in the body. So the chemistry must be being stimulated. My mind is just so quiet that I can put a mantra in there and it will stay undisturbed. So I'm communicating an experience to you. So all you need to do is to connect with that experience. You don't need to think too much. You just need to just say, let me feel what he's feeling. Let me open up to what he's feeling. Let me share this experience that he's having. That's all you need to do. And the more ready and receptive that you are, the more compatible you are to this energy, the more you will feel it. Let me feel what he's feeling. Let me experience what he's experiencing. Let me resonate with what he is resonating with. The body is delighted. It thrives in this energy. And see how my hands want to move in mudras? It's natural to this state. And my brain is becoming ecstatic. So all those centers in the brain of ecstasy is being stimulated. Oh, this is heaven. This is heaven. Now I can go to my manas chakra and it's just ecstasy. So that's it. Every world that we visit. You are in the heart, so then you're touching the beings of that world. And if you come to the brow and you feel the ecstasy that I'm feeling, you're touching the world of those beings in that loka, tapaloka. The heart is Maharloka. The throat is Janarloka. This is tremendous ecstasy. And then you open your mind to the world. And then your thoughts can only be, may our world be filled with peace, love, and harmony. And it flows out of your being into the world. I open my eyes and when I'm seeing the beautiful nature, the trees, all the plants, the world alive, the birds, the sound of the birds flying. It's early morning and the sun is up and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Marvelous day. So when the ecstasy is in a plane, you feel the whole world ecstatic. The world becomes covered. You see beauty everywhere. You see absolute beauty everywhere, simply because your inner space is so full of beauty. So when there's joy within your soul, when there's beauty within your soul, when there's love within the soul, how do you think you will see the world? That's how you see the world. And if you want to bring this into the body in a more strong way, you need to go to Manipura. You need to visit that other world, that other dimension of souls and of energies. Just breathe into the gut, keeping all the ecstasy up there above, all the joy up there above, as much as you can receive and contain, and you open up the Manipura. It's a little more gross for me, but it's excellent. Because I can feel now my body becoming revitalized, my limbs are becoming more full of energy. And I breathe more prana into the Manipura. I pull up the sacral to hold it in the field, and I pull up the root. And I'm nourishing those areas. I feel balanced now, in and out. No longer taking up into ecstasy so much. It is there, but now it's shared with the body. And that's how my day is going to be. I hold the breath in the navel, pull the root up, and I strengthen the gut. I strengthen the root and I strengthen the sacral. And I feel ready for my day. I hope that you've enjoyed this, everyone. I hope you've been nourished by this. So let's do a little bit of the mantra of togetherness as we close. Om Sahana Bhavatu. May we be protected together. Sahana Bhunaktu. May we be nourished together. Sahaviryam Karavavahe. May we be strengthened together. Tejasvinavritamastu. May we be wise together. Ma Vidvishavahe. May we be united always beyond all differences in personalities. Om Shanti, peace, Shanti, peace, Shanti, peace. Happy Monday, everyone. Let's have an amazing week as we build up to the Mahashivaratri. Have a blessed day.